Happy Crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to today's premiere video. Tom and I usually go live every Thursday at noon Central Time, but today neither one of us could be in the office, so we decided to do a premiere video for you, which is pre-recorded. However, Tom and I are live in the comments chatting with you today, so I'm sure we're saying hi right now. Now, today we're going to have a lot of fun because we're going to be using our brand new card kit. And I'm going to show you the card kit, and then we're going to do a little bit of foiling with our brand new Poly-Glaze sheets and some of our new foils. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy Crafternoon. It's been a while since we did one of these.
I know. These are fun to do too. You know, I love going live, but I also really like to be able to chat in the comments.
Yeah, it's another dimension, time-bending, stamping adventure.
I know, and for me, I rarely get to see the comments because I always have my head down and I'm working. So premiere videos give me a chance to really interact with everybody in the chat.
That's great. I'm sure they love it.
Well, I hope so. All right. Well, are you ready for today, Tom?
Let's go.
All right. Well, let's take a peek at the kit one more time. We released this kit on Tuesday night, and this kit is called Sending Flowers. Now, if you've never purchased one of our card kits before, these are such a great value. And I'll give you the quick rundown of what's inside. I talked all about it during the release party, so if you missed it, make sure that you check that out. But like every kit, you get this cute little box to store everything in. And people keep these. They put a little label on it, what the name of the kit is. And some people like to keep all of their supplies together because a lot of these products get used together in videos. Okay, so we have the index sheet that comes with every card kit, and this way you can see everything that's in your kit. If you forgot, you see a stray stamp set and you're like, what is that? What does that go to? You can check your index sheet. Now, in this kit, I showed you these last night, or on Tuesday night. We have the Flower Medley Stamp and Die Bundle. So this has the dies in there and the stamps, and it's got a 4x6 magnet. We also have the Sending Flowers Stamp and Die Bundle. Again, all the dies are in here. There's a 6x8 magnet and the full stamp set. Then I showed you that we have coloring stencils that coordinate with the Flower Medley stamp set. So we're going to be using these today in the project that I'm going to be doing. And then you also have 2 full layering stencils in this kit. This is pretty amazing. This kit is jam-packed with stuff. We usually just do 1 layering stencil set, but we decided to do 2 this time because we also released our brand new Fuse foiling gel. And these stencils were designed to work with that gel. You don't need the gel to use these stencils, but it adds an extra dimension that I'm going to be showing you next Tuesday night during our regular Stamp and Chat Live. So stay tuned for that video. And then we put a free gift in this kit, which is this amazing little sticky mat. And the sticky mat is great because for those of you who have trouble lining stuff up, it's got 2 alignment grids on it. One that fits Master Layouts 2 and one that fits Master Layouts 1. So I'll be demonstrating that next week as well. But I have my sticky mat out and ready to go. Let me put all these things back in the card kit because we are going to be using something else that we just released. We are going to be using these fabulous Poly-Glaze sheets that coordinate with this stamp, die, and coloring stencil bundle. So this is the Flower Medley Stamp and Die Bundle with the coloring stencils, and then we did Poly-Glaze sheets in these same designs so that you could use the dies from this bundle to cut them out and the coloring stencils in this bundle to color them. But you can add beautiful foil to these because these are Poly-Glaze sheets. Now, if you're new to Poly-Glaze, I have a whole playlist on my channel that shows you exactly how to use Poly-Glaze and what it is. I'll be showing you today, but if you want a more in-depth description and what Poly-Glaze is and all the different types of Poly-Glaze we have, you can watch any of those videos on my foiling playlist. Just go to my channel. It's Gina K Designs and Stamp TV on YouTube, or just type in Gina K Designs card making. It'll all come up. Click on my channel and there's tabs that go right across the top. Click on playlists and find the one that says foil. And there's got to be over 30 videos in there for you to learn everything about our foiling system. Now, I was thinking about adding a little background into this, and I thought I would bring back an older Poly-Glaze sheet, one of my favorites. It's the Flurries Poly-Glaze sheets. So I'm going to be using that today as well. Okay, now I wanted to give you the rundown once again of the new foil colors. We just released 12 brand new foil colors to Gina K Designs, and they coordinate with our inks and our cardstocks. So let me show you the colors that came out just in case you missed it. We have our brand new Sun-Kissed Coral, and what's really cool about this is this has a satin finish to it. So some of these have a satin finish and some of these have a more shiny finish. This is the Sun-Kissed Coral with the satin finish. Then we released Tangerine Twist, Butterscotch, Lemon Drop, Fresh Asparagus, and Fresh Asparagus has that satin finish too. It's so cool. Emerald Coast, which matches me today. I am wearing Emerald Coast. Powder Blue, another one with the satin finish. Blue Sky. Amazing Amethyst. This was high demand. We don't have an ink color called Amazing Amethyst, but this was in high demand because when we released our Amethyst Fuse foiling system, we gave this to everybody who purchased that color machine in the original offering, and people have been emailing us and texting us and messaging us and sending us private messages on all our social media saying, please bring this color back. So we brought this color back, Amazing Amethyst. Then we have Dusty Rose, which is another satin finish. And we have Black Onyx. Now, Black Onyx, you would think, well, why do I need Black Onyx? Well, I'll tell you. When we get into some of these fuse foiling gels, cards that we're going to make, you're going to see Black Onyx is really cool to use for that. Plus, it just gives it a little something extra that, you know, just plain black ink doesn't give you. Okay, so let's begin by picking a few designs here out of the Poly-Glaze sheets that we want to use. So I'm going to open this up. There are 10 sheets of Poly-Glaze in here, so this set is packed. We've got a bunch of the flowers. You've got 12 of these flowers. That's a lot of flowers. It's great. And then we've got, what is this here? Okay, yeah, we flip them so that when you're in an actual brick and mortar store and you're getting these, you can see front and back. Then we've got all of these kind of little pansies. We've got these little leafy sprigs. Then we've got more of those, so you've got lots of these. We've got a bunch of the You Are, and the You Are greeting goes with some of these strip sentiments like you are so very special, you are in my thoughts, you are the best friend ever. And then we have a lot of those. Then we have, let's see what else we have here. Okay. Oh, and we have you on here as well. So we have you are and you. And so the you goes with make me so grateful. You make me so grateful. And remember, if you have other strip sentiments in your collection, you can mix and match because you can always use the word you with other strip sentiments. We've got a lot of these. And then we've got all of these little buds and other little leaves and the little berries down here. So I think we're definitely going to use one of these bigger ones. So I'm going to get my scissors here and I'm going to cut out, two of these bigger ones. I don't know how many I'll actually use for my card, but I'd rather make them and save them for something else if I don't need them than not have enough. And then I think I'm going to do maybe 2 of these small flowers. see. I like to kind of look at things together, like I can just put a flower up here and maybe one over here. And then maybe I'll do one more of these small flowers. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, Tom, make sure your phone is turned down. We can't explain it away today. Okay, and then I think I'll use one of these little leaves. Maybe I'll do two. Two of these. All right. And definitely going to need one of the big greetings. So I think I'm going to do the UR. So I'll cut one of these URs out. And I will pick a strip sentiment. So let's see. You are the best friend ever. I think I'll do that. I love that. Alrighty. So I'm going to put all of these back into my Poly-Glaze pack over here. And then we will get started. Now, sometimes I like to have the stamp set out just so that I can see these a little bit more clearly. But if you foil them first, you're going to be able to really see them clearly. So why don't we do that? Now, if you're new to the fuse, this is the fuse foiling system. And there's a little button on the back. We're going to turn that on. And then we're going to turn this button up to 3. So we're just going to press it until it goes up to 3. And we'll wait for that to stop blinking and turn green. Right now it's blinking red. And then I am going to use one of these little backgrounds here. So let me pull one of these out. I had to get a second pack of this. I love this one so much because even though it's called flurries, it doesn't really look like flurries. It looks, well, it can look like flurries, but it also just looks like little dots and stars. So it can be used for just about anything. Now, to decide what colors we're going to do today with all these new foils, look at that beautiful rainbow there. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. A brand new rainbow. How do you pick? How do we pick? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use some of the fresh asparagus for the leaves. And then I'm going to use some of the lemon drop. You know what? I might use lemon drop for all of it and then use coordinating colors for lemon drop. Lemon drop is such a cool color because it is a yellow, but it's got a hint of green in it, which is super cool. And it doesn't look anything like gold. It might look gold here, but let me show you gold next to it. Can you see the difference? See all that green in there? Lemon drop is kind of a greenish yellow. So I think this will be a fun one to use for this card. All right, so normally I store my foil in stamp pockets, and then I cut my foil in half using a rotary cutter and like a quilter's mat and a quilter's ruler. But I don't have that with me today, so I'm just going to take one out of the package and cut it in half and use it right out of the package here. So I'll have to organize all of my foils this week because I haven't done that yet. All this stuff just got released, so it's brand new and it's so exciting. So let's just get one piece of foil here. Now on Tuesday night, I am going to be doing an extensive video on fuse foiling gel, and we're really going to get into these colors, lots of these colors. So if you want to see a lot of these colors in action, make sure you tune into that video because I'm going to show you not just how to, you know, use the fuse foiling gel, but I'm going to show you how to use multiple colors of foil on one project, and we're really going to get into it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down to fit here. So I'm going to just turn that over and cut this down so it fits onto this panel. With foiling, you always want to make sure that you've got all of your Poly-Glaze covered. but you don't have to go all the way to the edge of the cardstock. As long as you don't have any Poly-Glaze sticking out here or on this side, you'll be fine. But I just covered it, you know, I just cut it to cover the whole thing. I did drop my other piece of Poly-Glaze here. Okay, so now I always recommend using a Swiffer duster. So we're going to dust the back of this here. And then we're going to dust the surface of the Poly-Glaze to make sure that no dust comes between the foil and that piece of Poly-Glaze. Now I'm going to get my carrier sheet. This is a carrier sheet and it comes with the fuse. If you don't have a carrier sheet, you can pick up one on our website, or you can check out the ThermoWeb carrier sheets. They're a little different. They look like parchment, but they're actually parchment that's silicone lined, so it retains that heat and it transfers the heat really well, just like a plastic carrier sheet. Now I'm going to feed this into my machine with the fold side going in first, and I want to make sure that I do it straight so it doesn't get caught up in the wheels or crinkle up on its way through. So we're going to send that through first. Now let's go ahead and foil one of these. So I'm going to cut another piece. I might need some more foil, but that's all right. I can cut more foil. All right. So again, with this one, I'm going to take the Swiffer duster and I'm going to dust over that piece of Poly-Glaze and then over the back to remove all the dust. If you don't have Swiffer dusters where you are, and some people don't, or they don't know what they are because they don't have that brand, you just want to try to find some kind of anti-static pad. That will get rid of the static, so it gets rid of the dust, and it also gets rid of, you know, just if there's anything on there at all. You just want to collect it onto one of these Swiffer dusters. I know some people use brushes, and that's okay if you want to do that, but I have found personally that kind of like using a feather duster, when you use a feather duster, all it does is blow the dust around. When you use a Swiffer duster, it actually takes the dust off and it collects it onto the cloth. So you're not just moving the dust to other parts, you're getting rid of it completely. So that's why I really like that. All right, so I'm going to send this flower in next. And then we can peel and reveal this gorgeous new lemon drop color. Oh my goodness, look at how pretty that is. That is gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait to do all of these colors for you down the line. Now I always keep these because you can use these with our white Poly-Glaze sheets, and you can use the negative piece for something else. So I'll keep that with my stash over here. And let's see, what else can we do? Maybe we can do a little fresh asparagus with the leaves. Let's try that with the leaves. Kind of feel like I want to do a little bit of this. Okay. I didn't take the tape off the bottom of that, but that's okay. So isn't that cool, that satin finish? It's so different than the shiny finish, but they both are pretty amazing. Okay. So let's do a couple of these leaves. I'm just going to cut this down and do 2 at once. I like to do all of the foiling first, and then I like to do all of my stenciling afterwards. Some people like to do the coloring first and then foil after, and that's totally fine. Just make sure that your ink is completely dry and then you wipe over the surface first in case there's any ink pooling on top of that Poly-Glaze, because Poly-Glaze actually resists ink. It won't absorb it. And again, just like dust, you don't want anything to come between your foil and your Poly-Glaze. So look at that. That is such a big, bold flower. These are really easy to stencil too. All right, so we'll do our leaves next with the fresh asparagus. We'll send that through. And then I'm going to do one more of these flowers with that lemon drop again. So I know it seems like I am conserving here, but I actually can use this piece over that greeting. So there's no sense in wasting any foil at all. All right, and we'll get this one prepped. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Tom and I can't wait to get back in the studio live with you, but this is so much fun doing the chatting in the comments. I just know I'm having fun right now, even though this video hasn't posted yet. I just know I'm having fun. It is like living in two different time zones, isn't it, Tom?
Yes, it is parallel universes.
It really is. Okay, and maybe we'll use a different color for these two. Let's really mix it up. So I was thinking maybe we can use some, ooh, what if we used some of the Emerald Coast? And then we could kind of stencil those in Emerald Coast, although we could use the Amethyst because Amethyst would look really pretty. Sometimes it's hard to decide. Oh, let's go with Blue Sky. I have to try the Blue Sky here today because I think the blues and the greens work really nicely together. I mean, they all look nice together, but I'm going to be good this time and cut this sticky stuff off the bottom. If you're just going to store your foil in this package, cut that sticky bottom off of your packaging so your foil doesn't grab onto it when you're taking it out of the package. All right. Oh, this Blue Sky. Let's get that out. Make sure I only have one. I think I only have one. Okay. So I should peel these off. Oh, look how cool that is. You see how that it's like a muted, see how that's muted when I turn it compared to like this gives you the like the blinding and this is more muted. So these are going to be really cool together. I like that look. And then we've got this one that just came out. I think that's probably ready. Got another one of those. Okay, so we'll go with the Blue Sky for these little flowers. I think it's so much fun to, I actually have two pieces of foil here. This foil is kind of thick compared to other foils on the market. It's real sturdy foil, but foil is still very thin in general compared to cardstock, so it's easy to grab more than one piece. So just be a little careful with that. All right, so we'll do these two. Maybe I could do them all at the same time. Let's get this into the top there, and we'll get one more little piece. And I am struggling to know what color to make the greetings. I feel like the lemon drop will be real shiny and fun, like kind of like a gold. But then, you know, the blue is really pretty too. And we're only going to have a little bit of blue with the flowers. So let me think about it after I see these flowers. Then I can kind of lay things together. Now see how that cardstock is sticking out? That's no problem at all. We don't have to worry about that because there wasn't any Poly-Glaze sticking out, and that's what matters. Okay. And if you get any like little, sometimes with these thicker designs, you'll see a tiny little bit of something and you're like, what is that? It's actually just a little extra foil. And if you rub your Swiffer over it, that'll all come off and then it will be perfect. Just like little frays of little threads of foil. Okay. I do want the greetings to be the same color. So if I make them lemon drop, they're all going to be lemon drop. If I make them Blue Sky, they're all going to be Blue Sky, like both of them. Alrighty. So we do always want to give it just a second to cool off. And then I'll do this little one first. Oh, that foil is so pretty. I think I'm going to let that blue just pop by itself, and I think I'm going to do the words in the lemon drop. But that's really nice. I like that. Okay. So I'm going to save these for another card because you can always put these on the white Poly-Glaze and do the opposite flowers. One day we'll do a video where we're just using all the opposite pieces. I think that would be fun. And now I'm going to do the best friend forever using that little scrap of lemon drop. And I'm going to cut another piece of lemon drop while this is going through the machine. As long as all the words are covered, we're good. All right, where'd the lemon drop go? Here it is. It's a very cool color.
You dropped it.
I dropped the lemon drop. And you know what's interesting? If you look at lemon drop and you look at wild dandelion and you look at 14 karat foils all together, they all look completely different. So if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to add another color, you know, another yellow or another, you know, if you think that those other ones are too similar, they really aren't. And if you want to do multicolored designs, mixing the 3 yellows together is really cool. Mixing gold with lemon drop and with wild dandelion. In fact, before I had 14 karat, I did use wild dandelion when I wanted a gold look, and it always looked too yellow for gold, but it's perfect for yellow. It's real bright yellow, so check that out. Okay, so we've got this coming through. We'll let that cool, and we'll do the last one. Then we're going to die cut these pieces, and we're going to ink them up with the coloring stencils. All right, here we go. You are the best friend ever. Now, one thing I wanted to show you while we're here looking at these is all of these have coordinating dies, right? So you can cut out all of those words using these coordinating dies. But if you didn't happen to see it, we actually released a brand new master layout set last night, Tuesday night. I keep saying last night, but it's not last night. It's Tuesday night. Master Layouts 18. And this thing is huge. But one of the cool things is all of these little greeting sentiment strips, they're very fancy. They've got stitching and they've got layering panels that go behind them. They work with this stamp set and they work with this Poly-Glaze. So I have them here. I'll just show you, for example. Here's one of them. You know, you could cut that out with this die, and then you could have that fancy little edge if you wanted to use it. Now, I cut mine pretty close because I planned on using the die that coordinates with it today, but just keep that in mind, that you can stamp those images, you can emboss them, you can use the Poly-Glaze, and you'll be able to cut them out using the Master Layouts 18. I can't believe we're up to 18 already. That's crazy. I got some videos to do. All right, and there you go. There is the beautiful You Are in Lemon Drop. I'm just gonna clean off the little shreds there. Sometimes, like I said, with these thicker greetings, you get little shreds of gold foil or whatever foil, and you can just wipe them away, and then it's just perfect. All right, so I think I'm done with my fuse foiling system. So I'm going to put that away for now. And now we're going to talk about these coloring stencils. So I'm going to use my sticky mat today. The sticky mat has a thin little sheet on it that you keep because you want to store it that way so fuzz and dust and other things don't get on it. Now, one of the things you're going to find with our sticky mat that's different than other sticky mats that are out there on the market is ours is not quite as sticky. Some of them are extremely sticky, and that's great, and they all work really well. But when I was having mine designed, because I really wanted to have these grids put on, these alignment guides, and I also wanted to have like what size each of these are. There's an A and a B and a C and a D, and it tells you what size they are so that you know when you're trying to put things together, you know exactly what size cardstock you're dealing with. Okay, so what I want to do here is, oh, and then when I was having it made, I just said, hey, I know you do different levels of tack. Can you send me a bunch of samples with the different levels of tack? And I picked one that was just a little less tacky. It's just something that I liked, not a big deal, but I think that you'll like it too. It's still tacky enough to hold your cardstock down, but can you see how easily the cardstock will pop off of that? So I think you will like the low tack on this. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down, and I'm wearing a fuzzy sweater, so that's probably not a good idea. But you can rinse this when you're done. Just don't ever use stamp cleaner on it, and don't ever use alcohol on it. Just rinse it with water. It will stain if you get ink on it, but if you rinse it with water, it'll get rid of any ink that will transfer, and it'll definitely, it'll be much better than... If you use stamp cleaner or alcohol, you're going to remove all the tack, okay? All right, so I am going to pop this right in place here, and I am going to color this one in with, what color should I use? So obviously, I want to use some fresh asparagus, and I want to use some, well, I want to use jelly bean green on the fresh asparagus one, and I want to use some of the blue sky on the blue sky ones. So I'd like to do a color that coordinates nicely with the blue, but maybe I'll use Butterscotch, or should I use Emerald Coast? Boy, I don't know. Why don't I use the Butterscotch for the flower, and then we'll add some Emerald Coast into the center. I think that will be fun. All right, let's do that. So let me get a Butterscotch brush, and here's one, I believe. So I'm going to, I want to just brush off any color that's on here that might be left behind. And I might clean this brush because it's been a little while since I cleaned it. And I think it could use just a little cleaning. So I'm going to use my alcohol to clean it. Now, alcohol does dry really quickly. So if you're cleaning your blending brushes with alcohol, I would only just like rub them over the surface of the paper towel with some alcohol on it, and then, you know, dry it off on the rest of the paper towel. You could see that did clean a lot of that off. The bristles are nice and soft again, because sometimes they dry, depending on the pigments that are used to make the colors, sometimes they, over time, can get a little crusty, but now it's nice and soft and supple again. So let me get my ink stand. And I think Brienne is here. She usually comes to all the premieres too. So if you're here, Brienne, thank you so much for helping everybody with links today. All right, now I'm going to ink this up real well with the Butterscotch. There we go. My bracelet is making some noise. I have to show you my bracelet. Tom gave me this bracelet for my birthday. It's, what's it called, Tom? Larimar? That's the kind of stone.
That's it.
And it just, it's my color. You know that, right? But it's got a little chain, so it's going to make a little sound. All right. So we're going to add that Butterscotch onto this flower. Oh, I like that. Just like that, where it's like it grabbed a little dark around the edges, and left in the middle there is the lighter color. Look how pretty that is. Now there's a circle in the center that fits in here. It's not a perfect circle. This is not a perfect circle. But we're going to add, oh, I feel like we should, I was going to do Emerald Coast, but I really feel like maybe I should use Sun-Kissed Coral in there. Really brighten up the center. I think I'm going to do that. I know it's hard to decide what to do, but I want to use all the colors, but I'll get Emerald Coast in definitely on another day. So I am going to move this one out of the way. Now I know we have 2 of these flowers to do, but I want to complete this one flower and just get it off the table or get it off the mat. So here's a little Sun-Kissed Coral. We'll just add a little of that in there. Oh, that is pretty. I just did it light. Yeah, I like that. And you can see, even though I just went over that foil is still perfect. I always take a paper towel when I'm completely done and just kind of rub over it just to get rid of any ink that may have pooled on the top. That does stick to your sticky mat a little bit, but maybe I should just do it with my fingers next time, you know, like just blot it up. All right, so now I want to use some jelly bean green. So this fits over the whole design right there like that. There's two parts. Ooh, I could get emerald in here too, actually. Why don't I do that? I'll put a little emerald coast on these leaves, and then we'll do jelly bean on the bigger leaves because there's two sets of leaves here. So I think that's gonna be fun. All right, let me get my emerald coast brush. Let me clean it. Sometimes you never know what's on there. So I'm going to use this detailing brush with Emerald Coast. And we'll add a little bit of that in here. We're just doing all the new colors today. Gotta use the new colors. They're so bright and fun. And then we're going to move to this image right here and finish off this flower. And we'll do that with jelly bean green. Get a smaller blending brush. So we'll have lemon drop on the outline of the jelly bean green leaves here, but then we'll have fresh asparagus as the shiny outline on the smaller ones. Oh, that's pretty. Alrighty. So let's pull this off. We'll take a look at all of that. And again, I'm just going to blot up that excess. Love that. And then to get any paper off of your sticky mat, you just bend it and then you pull it right off onto your ink pad and ruin it. That's all right. We're going to cut that away, but there you go. Ah, I love those colors together. All right, so now we know what we did for the first one. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the second one. I am going to just rub over this too with a little Swiffer cloth. We'll get that on there. And we could do it in any order we want. So let's go ahead and there we go. That was how I had it oriented the other time. You do the sticky mat is similar to the grip mat, except it doesn't have any thickness to it, so it doesn't act really well as a pad in the Misty unless you use the original Misty pad first and then put the sticky mat on top. The grip mat takes both spaces up. It's a grip mat, it's a mat, it's a sticky surface, it's everything. So I like having both, honestly, because if I'm not stamping, this little sticky mat is very, very convenient. If I am stamping, then I do like to have the grip mat because it's just easier than taping things down and using the magnets. And getting it free in your kit, I mean, is there anything better than that? Now, I know some of you are going to ask, so I'm going to answer this question. Maybe it's even asked already. Are you ever going to offer this sticky mat outside of the kit? And the answer is yes. Next month, it will be available as a standalone item on our website. But we thought we would introduce it to everybody as a free gift in the kit So you guys could try it. Now it is the one thing that's different between a sticky mat and a grip mat. A grip mat is a piece of photopolymer and it's a stamp and it lasts forever. A sticky mat has a lifespan. After a while, it's going to lose a little bit of its stick. It's going to get covered with ink that it's harder to clean because it's not a stamp. And just over time, you may consider, you know, I think it's time for a new one. So, but of course, the cost is drastically different too. So, and I don't have the cost on the top, off the top of my head right now, but it's not anywhere near as expensive as our double background grip mat. All right, there we go. Very light inking here for these beautiful flowers. I really love this design. Love this flower. And again, you can just don't, try not to let go of it like I've been doing. And now we've got 2 of those for this card. Now let's get a little blue in the mix. Let's see. See how they, of course I put it upside down, right? We'll figure it out. There we go. All right, so we're going to do this with the blue sky on blue sky. So let's get some blue sky ink. And then I want to find, do I have a little brush for blue sky? I do. So here's a littler brush for blue sky. And I am going to clean the brush because, once again, I haven't used the little one for a while. So I'm going to just rub the color off of that using the alcohol. Get my alcohol dried up because it dries so quickly. All right, there we go. It's always nice to just reactivate those brushes. All right, a little bit of blue sky on here. Oh, that color, it's so vibrant. I love it. I think I still had a little alcohol on the brush, but we'll see. Yeah, I did. So let me dry that brush a little bit better. We can just add 1 flower or 2 flowers. We don't have to add all the flowers, because I have a layout in mind that I think you're really going to like. And I'm going to be using the new Master Layouts 18. I already have those pieces cut, so you don't have to watch me do that. There we go. I needed a little less ink on there. So we'll do, oh, look at that. Let's take a look at the shine. Oh, yeah. See, when it shines, it's like the perfect match. But when you're looking at it straight on, it's got a nice little outline. That's what's so cool about these foils. All right, we'll do this one next. We might use both of these. Love that color. That color is just like such a cool blue. Okay, and then we'll just finish up with these leaves. Oh, actually, you can do the center of these flowers too with one of these little dots. You can pick a dot if you want and fill it in. These dots actually are for that little berry image that's in the Poly-Glaze in the stamp set, this one right here. But they'll also fill in the center of the flower. Now I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to put a rhinestone in there, so we won't need that. But I did want to just show you that. All right, and now we're going to do jelly bean green right in these leaves here. So we'll put jelly bean in. Jelly bean on fresh asparagus. Oh, that's really pretty. You guys, if you're into foiling at all, you have to try these satin colors. And it will be on the website. It'll have like the word satin in the description, so you'll be able to know which ones are a satin finish. There's just a few of them, but we wanted to try some of it and see how you guys liked it. I love it. Okay, so we've got all of our leaves and all of our flowers done. And now we can quickly die cut all of this out. So let me move my ink out of the way and put my ink stand away. Brianne, I hope that you linked your ink stand. Gosh, what if she's not here? She's always here. She's like the best. I know she'll be here. But if not, don't worry. If I'm watching right now and I noticed that she didn't make it, I will link it. But she's a lot faster and better at it than I am. All right, I'm going to use my little Intercut, my mini, here with my grip mat. Now, I would not suggest using the sticky mat with the die cutting machine, only because it's not sticky on the back, and the purpose of this is to make sure that it kind of sticks to your work surface. But I am going to put my protector sheet back onto this mat, and that will be ready for me to use again. All right, let's grab the die set out of here, and let's cut these out. So, we'll cut the big ones out first. And of course, it just takes a minute to figure it out. Not much. I probably should tape it down, but let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's already moving. Like I breathed on it and it moved. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to tape it down. I don't trust myself, so I like to have a little tape on these. You know, I like using Masking Magic to tape this stuff down because it doesn't tear the paper, but it's also exceptionally gentle when it comes to foil because, you know, you don't want to use a really sticky tape to do this with foil because it'll pull the foil off your design. So the Masking Magic's great for that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? With that lemon drop behind there. There we go. Ooh, I love it. All right, we'll cut the other one out. Tom, it must be a little boring in the dead space without questions. You know, you're used to fielding all the questions. And so, do you happen to have a word of the day today?
I have 3 related words of the day.
Oh my gosh.
See what happens when you have a little bit of space in the dead space?
A little dead space in the...
A little extra dead space.
You came up with 3?
It doesn't mean they're any better, but...
But there's more of them.
So it's time for the word of the day. We have 3 today, a trio.
Can you come in? Can we see you? Oh, look at those. Those are so pretty.
Do we call it a third of the day?
A third? A triad?
Okay, whatever. So, when people get married in a church, remember those days?
I do.
And
we did.
They're saying their vows.
Mm-hmm.
If one of the couple decides to change their vows on the spot or write them, that's called an alteration. And then if one of the couple, one half of the couple decides that they're not really happy with that, I'm not going to say which one that would be.
Uh-oh.
But that's someone exerting their alter ego. And then from that point on, you might have a regular, it might escalate into an altercation.
Very good. I like those. Wow, 3 words of the day up on the screen, too.
Alter. Whoops. I'm losing it here. Okay. So there are 3 words of the day. The word of the day trio. From the dead space. Back at you.
I love the way he just fades out after the word of the day. Oh, gosh. All right, well, I'm just wrapping up these die cuts here. Altercation. They're very good. You put a lot of time into those.
I did.
I don't know. Seems like you did.
Yeah.
To come out with 3, yeah. Definitely. All right, so we've got that leaf done. Now we just have to do the greetings. So let's get that. We're going to do the UR first. I love these greetings. This is that font that everybody loves. Everybody that we based our that whole little greeting set, the Elegant Thoughts, on this font because everybody liked the fonts that I was using in those stamp sets. So we decided to do one more with this font. It is a good one. It's very elegant. It makes such elegant cards. And you know, I mean, you guys know, like, the fonts, you can mix and match them with any flowers and any stamp sets you have in your collection. But these are just good, classic, elegant fonts. Look at that. That's so elegant. All right. And then I did not line these up perfectly on my magnet. I just threw them on there. So now I've got to figure out which one is the right one. And I think that's it. Oh, I did. Maybe I did check them. I don't think I did, though. I think that was just dumb luck. Sometimes, you know, if it wasn't for dumb luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all. Okay. We'll cut that out and we will assemble this card. Now, I cut a bunch of pieces from the Master Layouts 18 set. Look at how nice that cuts out. Isn't that pretty? I like it because it's a nice big bold sentiment strip. We haven't had those for a while. It's fun. All right, I'll get this out of the way and then let's take a look at some of these pieces from Master Layouts 18. So this is the frame for Master Layouts 18. Isn't that pretty? I really love this die. I can't wait to extensively work through it. But this is the piece that falls out. It all cuts at one time and then this piece falls out. So you could leave this inside and you could paper piece it. You could do it in a different color and paper piece them together. You could also pop this up and have that one recessed. Or you could pop this one on top and have it kind of, you know, a little dimension in there. There's also a die in there that cuts a black panel for this piece that falls out. So
it's like paper quilting.
It really is. And you can see how that goes together. And then you could pop that on top of this one. But I love this wide frame opening. So we're going to go with that today. And then it's got this beautiful border that I cut out. And I thought it would be pretty to have the border behind here. So imagine, you know, that's cut off. And then I thought we could do a flower down here. And then another flower like up here. Okay. Kind of like that. And then maybe down here we'd add these other 2 blue flowers. So we get just a little more flower down in this part to add a little something extra. All right. And you can always add, you know, these extra pieces to the top one too. So if you feel like, oh, I really don't need it over here, you can use it up there. Also, you can just use the last 2 flowers, so you can really tuck it under there like that. So you just have a little bit more foliage up there. Maybe you want to kind of finish that up and have it coming up this way, you know, and pop the flower on there so it makes more of like a little angular thing there on the corner, a little corner swag. You can also do the same thing with this one and just have that so it feels a little bit more tucked in there. And then I thought that we could put the UR up here and then have the best friend ever kind of overlapping on the frame down there. Now, we've got this hole in the back, right? And like I told you on Tuesday, this die set was made to coordinate with Master Layouts 2. So I cut a plain panel out of Master Layouts 2. But I don't want black showing through. So that's where my little sparkly panel would come in. I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of sparkle back there. So I can trim this down smaller than the size of Master Layouts 2. So Master Layouts 2 measures 3.5 inches by 5, or by 4 3/4. So I'm just going to, first I'm going to just trim a little bit around that side there. Now, that would be the size of Master Layouts 2. I'm going to go just a little bit smaller, like 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then I'm just going to trim this edge off here. And then it would normally be 4 3/4. I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch smaller. Is that 1/8? Yeah. No, that's a, yeah. No, that's a, yeah, it's 1/8, right? I want to make sure that it's 1/8. So we've got 16 going across. So every line there is 1/16. So now we're going to go down 2/16, which is 1/8. Okay. I should have studied more in school. I really should have. I didn't think I'd need math. Okay. So now if we do that whole same layout, but we've got this little bit of sparkling magic showing through the back, and we're going to pop this frame up, and then we've got that beautiful little border in the center. I think that's going to be really pretty. So let's start by putting the border on the back here. Now, obviously, we want to line it up so that it's pretty even. So we could start like right here and just line it up. Well, we have to go over a little bit because we have to tape it down. So let's kind of do that. And then we'll just trim this off right here with the scissors. Oh, I should have had the scissors opened. Okay. So we're just going to cut it with the scissors. We just want to make it like it's centered, and then we're just going to trim that off right there. Cut a little bit more off. Okay. So then we can like line that up so that it looks centered, kind of like that. And we could do that on the back. So that's what we want to do. We want to do it on the back, and we just want to tape it down on the sides here. So let me get my adhesive, and I'll put some tape down here on the sides. And then we want to make sure that we have the ugly side of the master layouts facing us. And it's going to go just a little bit lower than center, I think. Just a little lower than center. Looks pretty straight right there. Okay. Now we're going to pop this whole thing up onto this panel. So it's got kind of a window feel to it. So I'm going to use just some foam squares. Let me see if the 1/2-inch ones will fit. I think they're going to be a little big. They'll fit fine here, and we do want to put some here because we don't want this to sink. We want this to be nice and strong and sturdy in the center. So we can add those. Probably could have, well, I'll just cut this. But you can line them up better so you don't have to actually cut one of these. But that works well, and then, you know, you've got that, it'll kind of keep it from sinking in the center. And then we're going to do the same thing around the perimeter. So I'm just going to cut them in half, or we could use the 1/4-inch ones if you want. That would work too. But I think this will be just fine this way. You can also use the shaker strips to do this. But I am fresh out of shaker strips, so I have to make my own here, which is fine. If you don't have it, you improvise and you use what you have until your order comes in. There we go, and we'll do one more. Okay. So now this is going to be nice and raised, and you can see it's got that dimension in there. It just feels really good like this. I like it. Okay. So we're going to pull all these off. I know this is a pain, but the strips are a little easier. You could use foam tape if you have that in your collection. The strips are the easiest, though. I love using the strips because you just see a nice clean line and they're easy to peel off and stick on. I really like the strips. The one thing about the strips, though, is it's going to be a little higher up, which would have been nice. I got to get that on my order of things that I need for my craft space. Tell my warehouse what I need. Okay. So, it doesn't matter. I did this pretty centered, and I think it's going to look fine. But if you want, you can make, you know, the bottom a little smaller on yours. And we'll just get that laying down there. Okay. So now we've got that cool little window with that little bit of sparkle in there. And then I'm going to attach it to my Master Layouts 2 panel here. I'm going to trim a little of this off the back here. You can always go in if like anything's sticking out, you can trim it off. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And then, excuse my head if it gets in the way. But there we go. Looking good. Looking good. Now, the big question is, what color do we want to use for our card base? That's always a difficult question. I wonder if just one blue one would look good down here. No, I think we need the two of them. We need two. And I'm going to ask you, do you think we need the blue at all? Should I just go with... But I can't know what you're saying, so I'm going to imagine if I ask that question what you would say. I think it's nice to have the extra flowers, especially if we're going to overlap a little bit here. So, got to get that straight. You are. And then we'll pop this, the best friend ever, and we can overlap that off the edge a little bit. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a blue sky card base to pull out some of that blue sky. Do I have any blue sky left, or did I use it all? Also, the Emerald Coast would be really pretty too. Let's see what that looks like. That's the Emerald Coast. That makes these little bits pop. But you know what? I'll tell you what my card color is going to be. I already know. This tiny little bit of sun-kissed coral, I think, is the spotlight. And I think if we add sun-kissed coral behind there, that's going to make that pop. Look at that. That's the ticket right there. So that's what we're going to do. So now that I have this laid out the way I want, I'm going to get some foam squares. I'm going to use the same size, same, depth foam squares, but just the smaller versions. And I'm going to put a few foam squares here where it will, sink into the card in the center, like that. Let me move this out of the way. So that's going to sink in there, and then I'll just put a little tape right up here. So we'll do that. Get a little tape, and it's okay if it goes a little off the edge. I always like that look. Let me get my tweezers. I think it'll be easier for me if I have my tweezers. So we're going to have that rest right on there, and then be a little bit outside of the card base itself, or the card.
You mean it's going to
panel.
be tweezier?
It's tweezier for me to do it that way. Yes. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing. And you'll notice that I have this flower facing a different way. They're like almost facing each other. If you turn them a little bit so they're not facing in the exact same direction, that's going to look better on your card than if they're both facing the same direction. Okay, I'm kind of liking this card without the blue flowers too. But of course, you got to do what works for you. So maybe if I rethought this and if I had time to start over, I might really lean into the sun-kissed coral on these cards and make those flowers that I made in blue actually sun-kissed coral and do the sun-kissed coral foil. But, oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? But we'll add these. That's all right. We'll add these. And these can just go right onto... Actually, I'm gonna slip it under here. Like I'm gonna have this flower behind there a little bit. Like that. Because I really I want to see that emerald color. So I'm gonna slip it under there. And then you can trim these down. I know this is like panicky to do this, but you can trim them down if you're not going to use the whole thing. And then you don't have to worry about how far in you've got to, smash that under there. You can just do it a little. I kind of like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here, but on this one I might do this one on top. Maybe I'll do that underneath too. Let's see. Now I'm thinking I don't want it underneath. Now I'm thinking I want it on top. Yep, I'm going to put it on top. I'm going to do this one on top too. But this one, I'm going to need a foam square on this edge so that it's got something to keep it popped up in the center where it sinks down into the window. All right. And then we'll add this one over here on this side, like right there. And just chop it away. Don't worry about it. Just chop it away. Okay. Now we've got that. Let's get this whole thing on the card base because I think that really helps you visualize it better. So let me get my scoring board here. And we'll score this at the 5.5 inch mark. Get that into the scoreboard. I didn't cut this one even. I wonder if that's why it was sitting over there all ready to go. I just grabbed it, saw it sitting there. Might have been a miscut. I do that sometimes, but it's okay. That happens. You can always go back and just trim around the edge if you're worried about it. I'm not too worried about it. And then this whole panel is going to go right on top of this card base. Okay. We've got a lot of different colors of foil. It's harder to see on the camera, but in real life you can really see the different colors of foil. And now we're going to put this greeting right up here along that top border. And then we get to see that little bit of a border, just dressing it up a little bit. You know, it's not about the border, so it's okay if you're covering up a portion of that border. It's not about the border. And then you got to make sure that it's straight. So don't think that this is crooked. You just got to turn it a little bit. You know, we tend to want to make this Y straight, but then it's going to go uphill. So make sure that you're looking at this to be straight, and then it'll be easier for you to see how to align it. And we can put a little tape here, tape here. And we'll go ahead, making sure that's straight. We'll just align it right up here like that. And then we could pop that up if we want, or we could put it right on the card. And I think I'm going to put it right on the card. You could always use one of those strip sentiment dies from the new master layout set if you want, or from any old master layout set too. But I am going to overlap the frame. I love all that stitching. You know, you can see all that beautiful stitching around the perimeter of that frame. It's just beautiful. And then to jazz these up, I'm going to add 2 tiny little gold pearls in the center. So we'll just do a dot here and a dot here. I'm going to leave these plain because I really love the sun-kissed coral on those. But a little gold. Come on, flip over, flip over. They're like little turtles.
You got one underneath the leaf there.
Oh, I do? I could use that one. I just lost my cap, too. There we go. Perfect. And then we have a little runaway glue here, so we'll just clean that up. I overglued, but I think that little bit of sparkle is exactly what we need. Now we could add more if you wanted to add more you know, gems, you could, but there's so much going on there with shine that I think those 2 little dots just give you that little bit of extra texture that you need. They just fill it out so nicely. And what do you think of that, Tom?
Oh, wow.
Let's move all this out of the way. There we go. See how clean my desktop looks? There we go. I'll zoom in on this a little bit so that you could see it a little more closely. Let's do that. Just a tiny bit more. There we go. And we'll give you the shine again. Can you see the blue sky on those flowers and that cool muted satin finish on the leaves, and then that lemon drop on the big clusters? So fun. I love it. Oh, this was so much fun today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. And also, if you liked the video, and we sure hope that you did, if you could give this one a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And also, we're getting really close to 200,000 subscribers, so hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and the notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, let me tell you what's happening next week. So next Tuesday night, I am going to be doing a full focus on the new Fuse foiling gel. You're going to love it. It does so many fun things, and you can use it even if you never want to foil, because there's things that you can do with it that you can't do with any of the other gels that are on the market right now. So I think you're going to love it. And then on Thursday, I'll be back with another edition of our Master Layout series. I will be using the new kit with those cards. And that is going to be a focus on Master Layouts 4. So I hope that you'll join me for that, Tom and I for that. We're excited to continue on with that series. But I really wanted to do a premiere today, even though we weren't able to be in the office. And I definitely wanted to share our brand new kit and how the Poly-Glaze and some of those new foil colors all work together. And if you're not into foiling, remember, you can make this card using ink too. So it's just really featuring the Master Layouts 18. You can do a layout just like this using ink, or even, embossing ink and embossing powder to create some shine. So however it works best for you, but you know me, as soon as I get new foil in my hands, I can't stop. All right, well, Tom, what'd you think?
Woo, that was fun.
Yeah? You had a good time?
I'm exhausted.
All right, well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live, and we sure hope that you will join us there. In the meantime, if you're in bad weather, wherever you are, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.